Instagram. Listen, only a short live today, but I've just come off of the call. I've just come off of a call with one of my close friends from Miami. Close friends from Miami. And basically, he's become like a mentor to me. He's actually the author of this book. His name is Kris Jobson, Daily Self-Worth Journal for Men. And I'm currently participating in this book. I've just wrote a whole load of notes, and if you know me, you know that I'm not normally the person to write loads of notes when I'm talking on an Instagram live, but he's given me so many different downloads that I wanted to share them and just distribute them back out. I'm talking about, I just exited the call about 5 minutes ago, and I wanted to just give this energy straight back. So what was we talking about? We're talking about how at the beginning of the pandemic, one of the most powerful things for us to do was to try and break down the old system. Yeah, we saw the breaking down of the world. We could see the breaking down of governments, of financial systems. And it was amazing. And we all participated. Wagwan, everyone. Ying, Jen, you can't touch this. We all participated in the breaking down of Babylon. And we are still participating in it. But there was something that he told me that really hit me. And I'm going to share this with you now. So like I said, I'm going to be looking at some notes. So bear with me as I go through these, but it's really important that I articulate what we discovered together. So many people are trying to break down the old self and the old earth. Let me say that again. So many people right now are trying to break down the old self and the old earth. But how many people are building the mansion that we're going to live in forevermore afterwards? Can you understand what I mean by that? So many people are trying to break down the old self and the old earth, but how many of us are building the mansion that we're going to live in forevermore afterwards? As the old earth collapses, Kris has just joined. Lion, I've just said to everyone, I just had to just distribute this energy out while it was still all in my aura. How many of us are building the mansion, the castle that we're going to live in after the fall of Babylon, after the fall of the old self, after the fall of your old egoic self? You can easily do all these ayahuascas and you can do all these spiritual retreats and you can really work on breaking down the old version of yourself. But are you simultaneously building the mansion and the castle that you're going to live in forevermore afterwards? And your predecessors, your children, your great-grandchildren will be living in the castle that you've created energetically for them in their DNA. How many of us are building that castle? I can admit right now, I spent the first year and a half of the pandemic and the last 7 years trying to expose things, trying to break it down, trying to make other people aware of the darkness, the Satanism around us. And yes, I was trying to build and work on myself, but I can tell you right now, as someone who's working on themselves right here, right now, more than ever, I'm now choosing to build the mansion instead of breaking down the old house. And the thing is, you can't do both at the same time. Something else he said, you can't live in the basement while also being at the penthouse at the same time. Another thing that he said that blew me away, if you pick up shit with your raw hands on the street, you've merged with that shit is on you now. And it's okay, sometimes we need to pick up the shit. Sometimes the most profound thing, I read a book called The Buddha, Jeff and Me once, and the reason I loved it, it was all about an ordinary man who used to have a beer but he was a Buddhist, but the landlord of the pub would always ask him, Jeff, the toilets are plugged up again, do you mind just undoing it? And unplugging all the plumbing. And he would just roll up with his sleeves, put his hand into raw shit and rip out anything that was blocked. So there's a time when we need to merge with the shit and we need to become it. But understand, if you do merge with the old self, if you merge with the darkness around you in order to expose it, it's very hard to live in that same penthouse. It's very hard to build a castle while also being in the basement. So that was one of the first things that we spoke about, which really, really, really touched me. And I hope people can see and are inspired at least, or they're at least witnessing how I am trying to build my mansion up by owning the mornings, by challenging myself to do things that only a month ago I would have laughed at, like entering a half marathon, by doing juicing. Today is Monday, it's the day that I was born. So I'm trying to, from now on, I'm trying to not smoke anything on a Monday. I'm trying to just have fruit and juices on a Monday so that the rest of the week I've already owned it. At the very start of the week, I've already built my mansion. I've already done something which was a bit difficult and a challenge so that I go into the rest of the week and I have deep respect for everything that I smoke. I have deep respect for the food that I choose. And talking about food, let's talk about something else that really touched me from the conversation today. And this topic, this conversation, wagwan every single person. And Kris, if you want, and of course you're busy, feel free to join me in a minute after I've got some of these notes. If you want to maybe drop 5 minutes of your knowledge, because people really, I think, would resonate from hearing you say some of this as well. But I've chosen to name this, and this is what Kris told me only about an hour ago from Miami. Stay out of other people's kingdoms. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you see a meat eater and you're trying to just go into a juicing phase, I'm trying to just, for the whole month of July, I'm trying to only consume juices. I don't want anything hard to go through my lips. Does that mean, though, I'm going to go to Tesco or I'm going to go to Sainsbury's and I'm going to get fucking angry whenever I see someone purchase meat? No, I'm going to stay out of their kingdom. Why? Because God is all that there is. The mystic law is all that there is. Say God or the mystic law or Jah, Muhammad, Allah, Sai Baba is a pie. You decide what slice of the pie you want. You decide. Literally, God is like a supermarket and you can have anything you want. If the meat aisle doesn't resonate with you, don't go down the meat aisle and start screaming and feeling angry because you're trying to enter someone else's kingdom. Do you know how much wasted energy there's going to be? This is so alignment right now. I love this. Do you know how much wasted energy there is if you're looking at someone else's kingdom or the way that someone else should be and going, this doesn't resonate with me, it's challenging me, this is not the way the world should be? Why don't we just focus on our slice of the pie or pick from because that same supermarket where you're standing in the meat aisle getting so fucking angry, or you're standing at the vegetable aisle and they're not organic and you're getting so fucking angry, you're not also realizing the other aisle which has everything delicious and organic and orgasmic and incredible that you also want. Stay attached to our kingdom. Yes, stay attached to your own kingdom. So let me have a look at these notes. There are other items in that supermarket that you will so deeply align with. And this is a time now where we need to build our kingdoms, not break them down. Yes, we all know that factory farming is evil. But also, someone said to me today, I uploaded on my story, I'm trying to juice. And the very first thing they said is you should be getting organic. I respect that, but some people don't have an organic bank balance. It's all about trying your very, very, very best for yourself and resonating and purchasing and doing what you want. I am no longer here to listen to anyone say you're an idiot for doing this or this is wrong. Stay in your own kingdom. Focus and ground yourself in your own kingdom. If you want your mother who's got cancer to stop eating meat and to start drinking distilled water, instead of forcing her to believe that what the knowledge, and I've done it. I moved from Manchester to home. From London to Manchester, and when I went back to see my mum, she stopped using the distilled water. And the first thing I said is, "What are you doing? I've worked so hard to educate and understand that distilled water is the best and it's going to be healing." And she said, "Yeah, but it's hurting my stomach." And I said, "How fucking dare you say it's hurting your stomach? You think that tap water's going to not going to hurt your stomach?" And I realized, shit. Who the fuck am I? I've only been home for like one day and already I'm fucking telling my mum how she should be. And so instead, I just filled up the distiller myself and I just drank from that. And from what I know, my mum's been doing that every day since. Be the change that you want to see. Man in the mirror, change. If you're looking into a mirror, right? You don't but you're angry and you're feeling like fucking shit. You don't expect the mirror to be sitting like this, smiling back. That's why I have a problem with the whole love and light thing. When someone says love and light, listen, if it resonates with you, it does. It just doesn't resonate with me. When someone goes to me love and light, more times within themselves, there's so much hatred or anger, or they're breaking down the old, that I would find so much more power in someone being very realistic. Or just saying, I resonate with you, bro, I love that. Or I'm sending you love. So many of my friends say love and light, grand rising, all of these things. But I know in my heart, personally, that they're going through fucking hell. Relationship breakups, financial problems. Yes, they may be trying to portray love and light, or they may be trying to be the most spiritual version of themselves that they can be. But by just saying love and light, there's something within me doesn't resonate because I know in my soul you aren't embodying what you're saying. It's like when I started my company with my two friends 3-4 years ago, 5 AM Creatives. I only actually ever ran in the morning and woke up once in 3 years at 5 AM. So I couldn't really stand behind the company truly until now. When I'm waking up at 4:30 and I've already jogged 5 kilometers and I've chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for 2 hours and it's not even 7, 8 o'clock, I can now stand behind my philosophy of 5 a.m. creatives, and people can feel the resonance because I'm not just saying it. They know I am embodying what I'm saying. So that was that part. Of course, where your attention goes, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So again, if you're looking at the world and you're so mad at the government, all your attention's going to the government, and you're merging with the government, meaning that energy, that frequency of the government's now on you. Or are you building the new kingdom? For instance, are you going to join me on June the 15th at Runnymede, where the Magna Carta in 1215 was sealed, where we can educate ourselves, gather ourselves around like-minded spiritual people and start to build access to our born right to abundancy through becoming the beneficiary of our birth certificate, removing our slave titles, understanding what our straw man is. This is us building the new kingdom instead of us just going to protest and screaming and pulling down the old one. And I'm not saying if that's you, that's wrong. Everything is divine. Everything is working out how it should be. And people are exactly where they need to be. But I'm calling the sleeping lions now and the lions. And I'm saying we can choose what we participate in. Another thing that Kris said to me is, imagine someone didn't like the color black because they think it's evil. And they go, oh, God or universe or Allah, Jesus, can you remove the color black from the world? I hate it. No, because life is all there is, will be, and forever will be. God is all of it. So if God or the universe removes black, you do understand every other color no longer exists. So we have to choose and channel our energy like an arrow, sharp, where we want to allow our energy to flow. Don't focus on what you don't care for anymore. It's like everyone talking about Philip Schofield. Yes, I know it. It's dark and what he's doing. But I choose not to keep focusing on that though, because in our heart we know it. This is another thing. Don't concentrate too much on breaking things down anymore. Why? Because anything that doesn't serve the new earth, the age of Aquarius, this beautiful new blossoming, anything that doesn't serve that anymore will quite naturally start to crumble because the frequency cannot hold it. So it's time to build the mansion that we're going to forever be living in rather than pulling down the old. The old will be pulled down naturally. I'm not saying that we just turn a blind eye. I'm not saying that we don't speak up with righteousness and truth whenever that we feel it's necessary. But I'm saying put much more of our attention on building the castle and the penthouse and the mansion that we're going to live in forevermore, that your children are going to live in forevermore, rather than pulling down and breaking down the old system. And then finally, this is a message about being your authentic self. So I was mentioning to Kris how I really have spoken out loudly about why I don't resonate with the word love and light. And this is another example. And he said to me, he doesn't resonate with it or does resonate with it. He was just telling me his opinion from what I was saying. And he said, people don't recognize that the universe is like a GPS. If you're on a live saying to me, oh, love and light, if you're not being authentic and vulnerable with exactly where you are in your life, it's like giving a GPS the wrong coordinates, and then it's going to try and direct you to somewhere better. But if it doesn't know where you are, how the fuck is it going to know where you're going to? Perfect example. Yeah, it's like saying, if you're saying to yourself, I'm upstairs, but you're actually really downstairs, the universe isn't going to be able to bring you upstairs because you're not actually really upstairs. Be your damn deep, raw, real, authentic self. And the second you do that, only then will the universe be able to give you a genuine reflection back. I'm being this strict now. If you're not 100% real in all your interactions, but most importantly with yourself, how can the universe reflect back? If you're looking in the mirror and you want the most orgasmic, electric, miracle-filled life that allows you to be in flow, you have to be willing to do that within yourself. You have to also be willing to show up and be your raw, vulnerable, real, in-flow, mystical self. If you're feeling dense, if there's heaviness happiness on you. That is fucking the springboard which will take you to the miracles. But if you're denying that springboard, if you're denying where you are, if you're putting in the wrong coordinates into the GPS, it's going to have no idea how it's going to take you to that next stage. And it sounds really simple, but yes, it is hard. It is the mission of what Dr. Julius Garvey did. You know, they're all going to be so bored of me mentioning this man, but he was the most profound man I ever walked with, the son of Marcus Garvey, and his message coming from a father which was one of the most famous black people in the 20th century, and it was much more about black people. His developed spiritual message for us all was you need to discern your own truth. You need to discern, is it your truth? Or is it your parents' truth? Or is it your culture's truth? Your sexuality's truth? Your ethnicity's truth? Your race's truth that you're trying to emulate? Or is it your damn organic, natural, crazy, beautiful truth? Let me see if Kris is here. Welcome everyone. Lindsay, know yourself. Jade, sending you love from Manchester to Spain. And here he is. Here is the man that has really helped me to fly and recognize who I am. Please, King, just drop some knowledge on us, man, for 5 minutes. Share something.
Just for the record, what you've been saying so far and I've been watching has been flowing, has been connecting me. So you're on a roll. You're on fire. You're on fire. You're on fire. You're on fire. Hey, as it relates to the idea of building our mansion, our new earth, each person's new earth is within themselves. So it's not like we have to, don't forget your outside world is just reflecting who you are on the inside, and your reality and life and the universe cannot reflect to you what you are not. So you have to be it first, and be it in thought, word, deed, energy. So you have to be it on the inside. What does that mean? That everything that you're creating on the outside, take your gaze off of out there for now. In the morning, you just said you got up at 4 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning. We practice that.
4:30.
Whatever time you do get up, make sure that before you even come into beingness of understanding what your day is, as you're coming out of sleep, that you tap into what's true, who you truly are, with that spark, that energy that lives within you. In other words, who are you? Not what you are. Not what meaning, oh, I'm Jamaican, I'm 6 foot tall, I'm in, no, that's what I am. Who am I is the qualities that I live from, the choices that I make, the attitude that I hold, the vision I have from myself, meaning what can I express of myself from the inside out, not from the outside in, from the inside out. And so I have to become
not from the outside in,
so
the inside
that's the
out.
Truth of the reality. People go, oh my goodness, these things happen in my life. But you're seeing the outside in. The only reason why the universe is showing you that thing, whether it be good or beautiful on the outside, is because you've already become it or are it on the inside. So nothing shows up outside of what you are. It's frequency. You cannot, it's just law. It's universal law. It's like a radio station. 101.1 is 101.1. You cannot hear 106.2 unless you shift to that specific frequency. So when you're in, you are emanating a certain frequency to the universe all the time that's being matched. Now, the point is, when I say you, which you are we talking about? You as, not just, this is Kris. I'm a makeup of my mother and my father's DNA, and they're my ancestors. So of course I'm giving a frequency based on just my physical cells, but there's also a consciousness I hold. They're the beliefs that I hold, the things that I think are possible and impossible in the world. So based upon my own limitations of what I think is possible and impossible, my reality reflect back to me that film, that the parameters of that. So when I say be yourself, it's also a very good thing to figure out which parts of you are not truly you, or meaning not truly who you want to be. So you then realize, have I borrowed this from my ancestors? Have I borrowed this from my society? Have I borrowed this from my subculture? And does it really make sense? And does it resonate with who I truly want to be? Not because it sounds good, because it feels right. Feel. We don't want to get distracted by our senses. Our senses are here to aid us in experiencing this reality, but not to distract us from the truth of the reality, right? So we want to be in tune. So don't get distracted by what you see and what you hear. How does it feel? Use your other senses, your other perceptions, because don't forget, frequency doesn't lie. Your eye can lie. Oh, I thought I saw it that way. Oh, I thought I heard it that way. I thought I thought. That's your
Yeah.
senses, because they're limited. But your frequency, if you really tap into that, will go, wait, that thing looks so beautiful, but wow, the energy feel really off. Ah, there we go. That's your truth. But you have to
Wow.
tap into your truth so you don't get
Wow.
distracted by your eyes. Your eyes are supposed to then have you then go, oh, that is not what I want. And then you look to where you do want, because your attention is your magic, is your life force energy, is your power, is your
Yeah.
creative force. So if your eyes should not just pull you where you want to go, your inner you decides where to put your eyes, right? Your eyes don't tell you where to look. You
Wow.
tell your
Yeah.
eyes where to look. Because once you do
Where to
look,
look.
that's that lightning bolt energy of creation, energy that you're sending out. That's what you're emanating. That's what you're radiating. That's what you're generating. So if you're going to be using that bow and arrow of your paw, make sure you choose where you put it. Because where you put it is what you're building.
Wow.
And when you, and that's what we're in. We're in the stage of building. You said the age of Aquarius. We're in this age of building now. The old is crumbling, and sometimes, as you said before, we have to crumble. We have to break it down. But know that you're playing the role of breaking it down, and you know how much time on your watch you're going to give to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, okay, I'm breaking down now. Let me do it for 5 minutes and da-da-da, and get this point across, and then let me get back to building. Because breaking down, as I said before, is a frequency. A breaking down frequency means that you are surrounded by things that are breaking down, and breaking down means things are being dismantled. You don't want to hang out in a space of dismantling for too long, because don't forget.
Yes, this was what I really took from our call. It's so important. It's so important to not remain in the breakdown energy. If you could touch a bit on that, making sure that we don't remain in breakdown energy, so that we can concentrate on building.
Life is a balance. Just like, you know, every day you're walking. To get from point A to point B, I walk on my right leg, then my left leg, and my right leg, and my left leg. I don't just hop on my right leg down the street, right? I balance. I balance it easily, and maybe I may favor one leg more than one other leg, but at least there's a constant balance. So if you are called at some point in time, based on your truth, that you need to break something down, know then that you are the builder playing the role of breaking down. If not, then you identify as, oh, I'm the one who breaks things down. I'm the warrior who breaks things down. And then you're kept in that frequency of breaking down. Don't forget, if you're breaking down outside of yourself, then there's breaking down going on inside yourself. That frequency is not just one-sided. You become that frequency when you merge with it. So then you are in a constant state of dismantling. In other words, you're not in your powerful place. You're in a breaking down energy. But if you're consciously going there for a specific purpose, I'm going to go there to do this and this and this, consciously. If not, it will suck you in, and you find yourself just being distracted from random task to task. You get lost. You get lost in the role. No, you are the conscious spirit who's choosing the role that you're playing for a certain mission, a certain purpose. Don't forget, you are supposed. We are going towards mastery. It's about self-mastery. We're going towards mastery. And each person has to be their own master in your own time, at your own pace. No shaming yourself for being less than you are. You are what you are. But are you conscious of what you are? If I'm going to go like a mad person and scream like a crazy person and curse my ass off, I have to know in here, Kris, you're acting like a fool. If I just do it and go, oh, I'm fine, then I'm lost in the role. No, I need to go, oh my goodness, I just did that thing. Did it serve a purpose? Yes, it did. Did it not? And you process everything that you're doing. Does it make sense? Is it my highest choice? Did it serve me? Is it serving those who are around me? What is the purpose of it? How did it even feel? Because the frequency is going to tell you how magical it's going to come back. If you're in that lower space where you're even dismantling, but you dismantle, you can easily say, and very firmly, no, 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 no. But if you're going to go la, 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 and scream and go crazy, then you've added on an extra layer of losing yourself in the dismantling. So in other words, you've identified too much with it, and you're losing yourself in it. That means the consciousness is now losing itself. It's not being aware of itself. So now you've become the thing. You've become the puppet for it, when you are actually the co-creator with it. Yeah. So I mean, wow. There's lots that we can say about it, but the idea about dismantling is, yes, you need to dismantle, but more often than having to participate in the dismantling, just by you detaching yourself from that consciousness, you're breaking it down. Don't forget, a consciousness is an energy, a frequency that has different, each person contributes their consciousness to it. If you believe something And I go, oh, I believe that too. Then you and I, all the other millions who believe that, contribute to that consciousness of that thing. But if one day I go, you know what, life has taught me other, and I detach from that consciousness, now that consciousness has everybody else minus me. I have now taken out my magic that I create out of that consciousness. I've now detached from that. It has become less than it was, because when I was there, it had one extra person, one extra me. Now it has less than me. So each of us detaches from that consciousness. It gets smaller, and the cloud becomes smaller until the cloud is nothingness. So it's not that I want to go in and destroy the cloud. I just detach from the cloud. The cloud only uses our energy, our frequency to maintain itself. When we detach from it, there is no more cloud. So I don't want to destroy the cloud. I don't want to break the cloud, because anything I do with the cloud is me still merging with the cloud. I don't. I just detach from the cloud. I'm no longer a part of the cloud. I take away my power, my magic. I take away. And if you criticize something, or you love it, or you hate it, whatever you're doing with it, you're dancing with it. Stop dance. Don't dance with it. No more dancing. Just detach yourself from it. And there's many other things you can give your gaze to. Focus on what you want to build.
And I think some people, by focusing on breaking down the old, it at first, and it can be a very powerful feeling. You can feel like you're contributing towards something so powerful and amazing. But when you start to understand the deliciousness and the power of building the new, instead of breaking down the old, and I was saying this, and obviously it's from your guidance earlier, the old is going to break down basically whatever happens, because it no longer holds that frequency in this new age. And so we can actually participate in building the new while watching the old die.
Exactly. Observe. You can observe it.
Exactly.
No judgment, no criticism. Just let it be. Observe it. Oh, that is happening. Not that is happening and that is good, or that is happening and that is bad. Don't merge with it. Let it be. Observe it. As they say, like in the sky. The sky is not holding on to the clouds. The sky is just letting every cloud pass through. Storm clouds, beautiful. I'm in here in Miami. Beautiful clouds. The sky is not attached to any of those clouds. It just lets it pass right by. No judgment on it. Oh, bad storm cloud. Good, beautiful white clouds. No, there's no judgment on any cloud. Let it pass by. Let it do its thing. You become the space in which it can occur. But if you touch the cloud, you're no longer the sky. You've become a cloud. You've downgraded to a cloud. Right? Don't downgrade to a cloud. Remain the sky. Yeah? Remain the sky. And because that cloud will pass.
Earlier we were saying, you gave me a metaphor and it was just so great. Some people, they see the stuff that they want to break down in the world, and they can see the injustices and problems in the world that we're here, that we incarnated to change. But it's not like saying, God, I don't like the color black, so can you remove black because I don't like that color, it's evil. Because the second you remove black, you've removed the base tone color of all things, and so therefore none of the other colors exist. And so black is God, white is God. Like the evilness is inseparable from the love. And so instead of trying with our ego to think what needs to be removed, actually, like you said, is just don't touch the cloud, be the sky, allow it to move through you, and you pick what section of the pie you want to craft
and when
your
more
new
of us
mansion.
actually realize that is how we create, and that's how we actually empower ourselves, then you'll find less people downgrading from skies, fighting with clouds. You find more people being the sky, and then the clouds just pass through. Mind you, when you fight with the cloud, what have you done? You've reinforced the cloud with your consciousness and your contribution. So you empower that thing. You don't want to empower it. You want to let it pass by, because change is constant in this universe. Everything is in constant change. The planet is moving as we speak. Particles are moving through the air. My cells are deteriorating. Yours is. Everything is in motion. Everything is in literal motion right now. So it's not like you have to go and do anything. It is already moving. Change is inevitable. Change is happening now. Are you changing it? In other words, everything is changing. Are you contributing to changing to something new, or for it to change? Because everything is changing. It's either regenerating itself to the exact same thing, because you've said, I'm going to fight this thing. Oh, but now you're contributing to this thing. So you're actually perpetuating its existence. Take yourself out and it will change. If it's not fed by our consciousness, then there's no fuel to feed it. Nothing. Everything needs to be fed.
Yeah.
So take yourself out. I understand the idea where you do want to get your hand in the clay and mold it sometimes and play with it. That's fine. Nothing is wrong with dismantling things if you need to break things down, but do it consciously. Know that you're the builder. Know you're the consciousness saying, I'm going in right now for a specific mission to work on this thing. Not to get lost in the drama of it, because then I become it. I don't want to be.
And it's so easy to get lost, right? Like we have to, so many people, I believe, are unconsciously reacting to these external things that are happening. And so it's like they're a ball on a tennis court that's going left and right. All there's a new agenda, all there's a new like organization to like, I need to like protest for, all of these different things. Whereas if you can consciously decide where I'm going to project my energy, you're in a such more healthier space for your life to expand still. Because otherwise you're a victim and you're unconsciously reacting to a lot of things, which, by the way, a lot of them are orchestrated for this exact reason, so that we remain
merge with
in
it. So they're still using your energy, but they're using your. You think by you saying no to the universe doesn't understand no. It understands where you put your attention and where you don't. If you look at something, you say no, it's still a yes because you're giving it your attention. So what the powers that be know that you want to go and break it down, but they know from you touch it, you're now contributing to it. And the fact that you touch it, your life force is now part of what that thing uses to stay alive.
It's like when you told me if you handle shit on the street to remove it, even though sometimes it needs to be handled to be removed, when you touch it, you have merged with the shit. It is now on your DNA. It's in you. You're part of it.
You're part of the shit. Same thing about criticism. You criticize it, now you've merged with it. People go, oh, I'm criticizing that thing. No. You call it criticize with the English language or with human language. You call it that. That's a deception. You're calling it that you're criticizing it, mean that you think you're pushing it away. But by criticizing it, you're actually pulling it forward. So don't get confused by the language.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fighting. No, fighting still means you're merging. If you really wanted to deflate that thing, you would exclude your energy from it. You would exclude your energy from it. I didn't say it doesn't exist in the world. It exists. As I said, the giant supermarket of God, of the universe. God, Goddess, all that is, exists. But which ingredients of all that is are you using to create the recipe that you want, that you know will be delicious for you and your tribe and the community and the world as a whole? What are you, what is your recipe?
Yes.
Are you just going ad hoc, using random recipes and creating a meal that no one wants to eat? Or are you choosing your ingredients specifically because you have a conscious recipe that you know will be nourishing and nurturing for people to consume? In other words, but people, the only reason why you probably not want to choose that deliberately is either because you haven't practiced it, you didn't understand before that you had the permission, you could give yourself permission to choose it, and or the fact that maybe in dismantling there is a empowerment one feels in dismantling, like they get the worth from it, the self-worth. I get the worth of it. I feel empowered by this. But don't be empowered by dismantling, because then that becomes your identity. You're not a dismantler. You're a consciousness that can choose.
That's going to trigger some people. Hey! I love it. Don't be empowered by breaking it down. And a lot of us feel so empowered. We feel like it's our only purpose. But that's the trap. It's
the trap.
It's the trap.
That is your ego saying, oh, I'm powerful. You don't need your ego to say you're powerful. You're a spirit of the universe. You're God's spark. You are definitely powerful. You don't have to ask yourself that question. You just are. No, your ego says, oh, but I want to be. No. I want to be powerful by doing this. You can be powerful by you can show your power in many different ways. That dismantling is just one minute way that also keeps you tied to what you're dismantling. So that's not the smartest way to reveal to yourself of your power. But you don't need to reveal your power. You need to just feel your power. And then when you feel your power, you walk in your power. And whether you're speaking softly or not, whether you're doing some acts or not, you're still power. You don't have to prove it. You just are it. So that's the quiet time when you're building the mansion. The mansion is not going out there and trying to demonstrate something that you haven't already demonstrated to yourself in your quiet space at home. Whatever you're going to share outside, It's not the first time. You should be so acquainted with it in your private space that is just your natural way of being. So if I'm going to use me dismantling as a way to show my power, that means that I have not sat and felt my power on the inside of myself, what it feels like on my own. And so I'm trying to find an excuse to go and show it on the outside. But that will be fake, because if you're not on the inside, on the outside it's not true either. It may look that way, it may sound that way, that's just your senses, deluding you. If you aren't it, you cannot become it unless you are it. And once you are it, then you can demonstrate it. But you can't demonstrate it if you're not it. Yeah? So be it means to feel it within yourself. And a wonderful exercise that I'm doing in this course that I've put up right now is, how do you stay in and just feel the power of yourself? Feel through your emotions, through your consciousness, through your beliefs, through your choices. How do you just stay in one space at home in your bed and feel that? People are so used to seeing an actor or having to say those words. But what does it feel like literally? And where is that feeling in your body? Where in your beingness or in your aura, where do you feel it? And are you aware of where it is? Because until you, it's like an X-Man, like a superhero. Until you feel that power, you can't blast it out. You have to feel it. And every superhero goes pushes from in out, right? They are the energy. And that's part of what we're having to learn right now. The outside is a reflection of what you are on the inside. But you have to take the time on the inside to become acquainted with who and what you truly are. That's what it really is. So we're just distracted on the outside. But that's fine, because we're in a world right now where we think that the 3D world, outside world, is the reality. No, it's a reflection of the true reality on the inside. Yeah? So it's a wonderful process.
There's two beautiful comments here I just got to read out loud before we end this, because it's just beautiful. From beautiful Kaya, she said, the level of anger and pain I have against the system that you're helping to dissolve. Thank you. And then she said, every empath needs to hear this liberating wisdom for these times. And this knowledge, I think, is really important, specifically for empaths, because we, so much emotion, you see so much pain. You want to fight for every cause. You want to save every child. You want to save Africa, and you want to all of these things. But the power still has to be within yourself. And that just blew me away, because I felt it myself within myself. You can feel very powerful when you know that a lot of people are listening, and you're at the protests, or you're doing whatever it is that you feel is your just cause. But the most powerful place now for me is sitting right here in front of my Gohonson, 4:30 in the morning. No one's here. No one sees me awake. That's where I feel the most powerful, because I recognize I don't need to live a role as a leader, or to prove how valid my points have been for years to anyone no more. It's I am the power, and I have my deep own relationship with God, or the universe, or the mystic law, whatever you want to call it.
That is
I know
exactly what it is.
Yourself.
The majority of your spiritual work is you in the quiet space, you going within. Because once you go within, then you can go without. But you're going without with the consciousness of who you are within. If you go without outside, you haven't tapped into who you truly are, then you're just reinforcing the illusion that is out there. But our job right now is to wake up from the illusion and to infuse the illusion with the truth. You're right? So you're going to go outside, you're going to have to function, you're a human being, you're going to have to do things, you're going to have to go to the grocery store, you're going to take care of your kids, you're going to have to do physical things. That's part of the reality we're in. But the consciousness is to wake up to who it truly is. So when it engages in all those things, it is filling all those things with the frequency of the consciousness that knows it is doing that. Yeah, so it's an awareness that one was tapped into before. And as you said before, in the morning, you're getting up early in the morning, and you're tapping into who you truly are. So when you show up like this, you're blasting the consciousness that you've already tapped into on your own. We don't need we don't go out there so we can scream at the things that we don't like, because we're just adding our hate, our emotions, a lower frequency to those things. I go out there and I give it the power of my awareness, and I use the words deliberately. I don't just scream and get angry. No, I go at home and I deal with my anger, because anger is just energy that's showing me that there's something that is not off, something that I feel it needs to be shifted within myself. I don't want to be angry at what I don't like. I want to go with what I don't like and say, hey, let's make a higher choice. I don't need to be angry at you to say to you, can we choose something better? I don't have to hate you to
Yeah.
say to you, can we
Yeah.
choose something better? I don't have to be discriminate against you or look down to you and say you're stupid. To say, can we make a higher choice? I don't have to bring my anger
Yeah.
and my hatred and my prejudice to you. That's just out of tune energy that I must go and heal on my own, turn that back into my empowerment, back into my clarity, and then I go out and say to you, hey, let's make a better choice. Not because I'm angry, because I've got a better idea. Let's look at this. Or do you have a better idea? Let us investigate that together. But if I go up to you with my anger and my raw emotion, that raw emotion is supposed to be me processing at home in my time. So I can transmute that raw emotion into my higher, most empowered, powerful energy that I can use to create. So when I go and talk to you, I can use that energy. Maybe I wanted to say, fuck you yesterday, but now I say to you, hey man, I've transformed that fuck you energy into, hey, you know what? This can be done. Empowerment, determination. So it's no longer a fuck you. I come to you with determination. I don't come to you with a fuck you. I come to you with determination. But I had to go in my private time and transform that fuck you into determination. That was my job. If not, I bring you a fuck you and then we just fight. And nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
But if you hit me with a fight energy and I'm playing that tennis game and I hit back fight energy, you hit me with the fight, but I give you clarity. You hit me with fight, but I give you my clarity and I give you my unity. But if I didn't go and find the clarity and transform my fight energy into clarity, determination, awareness, just understanding, compassion, but and also assertiveness, because I can be assertive and not have to fight. Fight means I want to push against something. I don't need to push against you. I need to. I'm bringing something so you can see it. I'm not pushing against you. You pushing against you means I need what you're giving. No, I'm here to offer something. Right? So I'm not pushing. I'm not playing what you're giving me. I'm offering you something that I have to go and find in my quiet time. So if I don't do the work in my inner space, then I have nothing to offer. And it has to be a higher vibration because everybody wants to get to a place where they can go, hey, that makes sense, or that feels easier, or it's easier for us to relate together. Nobody wants to fight, because at some point we all get exhausted and nothing happens, and then we just feel depleted. So everybody would want to go to the higher frequency. It's our job as light workers, as bearers of light, to go in and find that high frequency and bring it and say, here's what I found. What do you think about this? And offer it, literally offer it. With clarity, with strength, with assertiveness, but with true care. Yeah? Hey, if you want to, hey, for the empaths out there, because I know that's what we are. And a lot of us, a lot of empaths, when these are techniques that I think we need to share more often, more frequently with empaths, because they're feeling a lot, but then it's time for empaths to understand what they're feeling and their consciousness. And there are two yous. There's one of you that's feeling it, and there's a consciousness.
And it's a gift. That feeling they're feeling is a gift, right? Like if they can only alchemize it.
To alchemize that feeling, you have to understand that your consciousness is observing what you're feeling. There's multidimensional you within you. So if you decide, oh, I'm feeling this, yes, but there's also your consciousness that's observing how you're feeling. Oh, I'm feeling so sad. Yes. Who knows that you are feeling so sad? Another part of you knows that you are feeling so sad. So there's already two in there. If you can understand, I'm feeling so enraged right now. Yes, you are feeling so enraged, but the fact that you can see it means that you're looking from someplace that is not it as well. You're conscious of your consciousness. That is what it is. If empaths can understand, we can start to do this more often if you want to have these talks more often and give empaths a chance to understand how they can observe their feelings. Then they realize how they can utilize those feelings for themselves instead of becoming the feeling and the consciousness is lost in the feeling. No, the consciousness is there and wants to direct the feeling and transmute the feeling and utilize that energy and offer it, direct it, share it. But if you're lost in the feeling, then there's a step that's missing where the consciousness is to understand that it is conscious of all that it is experiencing, whether it be negative or positive. There is a consciousness observing the experience. And that is where your power lies. Your divine source isn't going anywhere. It's literally right here all the time, observing everything and all things. If you tap into it, then you merge with your higher self. So then your higher self says, you know what? Scream at that person. You scream at that person. If your higher self says, you know what? Keep quiet. you keep quiet. If it says, oh, you know what's true?
Yeah.
Write that letter and send it. You do it. But you know that you're hearing from your consciousness now, and you're not being guided by your emotions, because that's just a lot. That's the energy that needs to be directed by the higher you. Yeah. And that becomes a practice.
Yeah. Man, I think, you know what, bro? If you're willing, when the time is right, when it's guided, we should do this more often, because the comments have been absolutely mad. People are really deeply resonating, and I think this is the time for us to silence isn't golden anymore. It's about using our voices and sharing our truths.
Wrap it.
So I think I'll wrap it at this. I have nothing else personally to say after you leave. I think this has just been amazing, and anyone that's following me, we've got 23 people right now live, and I know some of these people are coming through your channel. I want to recommend, I know you know that I wouldn't want to do self-promotion, so let me recommend your book myself. This is the book that I'm currently doing. It's a 60-day challenge, a self-worth journal for men, written by the King, Kris. There's also a self-worth journey for women. You can, if you just write in Kris Jobson and self-worth journal, you'll find a version of it on Amazon. I can't recommend it enough. It's really helping me as I'm doing my 66-day challenge to wake up every morning at 4:30. It's just holding me accountable. Like, for instance, day 28, it's all about letting go and understanding how to let go of things, but with grace, and to recognize what you need to let go of. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time, for being who you need to be for the planet, for working on your own shit, so that you can make sure that you're turning up the best that you can turn up.
Hey,
and I love you, King.
Appreciate
and
you
so grateful.
And let me tell you, to everyone who's watching, I enjoy this guy. I met him many, many years ago when he was much younger than he is right now. And there's a light and a power and a calling and a yearning in him to just expand himself and in all directions. And that's what I feel in myself too. So it feels like, you know, like-minded, brother from brother. And I really appreciate you. And I appreciate this whole live, but also the fact that we can share it out loud, and that you do it so with such poise and such commitment and dedication. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Sending you so much love from London. Manchester, United Kingdom,
all right,
to Miami.
Take care, guy. Let's do this again soon. All right, man.
Take care, brother. Love you, and thank you everyone for watching.